I'm having to do a voiceover for this tutorial as my microphone played out. So I've got some scrap clay here on a number 3, which I've just rolled out and put on a tile. Okay, so the earrings I'm going to make, I'm just sort of weighing them up ready so they're the right sort of shape that can accommodate them both. Okay, so I'm just marking about a third of the way along, just very gently, just so I've got a follow line for where I'm doing the hammered metal effect. So I've just got a ball tool, and first of all I'm going to use the thicker side and just sort of create an area. I also turn the tool and use a smaller ball tool so they're not all the same size. Okay, so there's my first basic 4 hammering. It will need amending as we go, but okay, so I'm just going to use my eye to cut out 2 basic oblongs. I can match them up later if they don't quite pattern each other. Okay, so I can see the one's slightly wider than the other, so I'll just amend that. And I'm really going over with the ball tool. I do this quite a few times. You'll be surprised how much it actually needs it. I've got my back door open, so sorry if you can hear a pigeon. Okay, so I'm just sizing them up and getting them to match as best as I can. Okay, so now I've got some mica powder. I'm using our Taser in Noir, which is closest to black I've got, and it's like a dark hematite. But I actually like that as a background with the hammer effect. I think it looks more realistic than black, but that's just what I think. So make sure you're filling in all the crevices, and the aim here is to get inside the crevices rather than the top. Okay, so make sure you've got all the crevices filled in, and then when you're happy with that, we move on to the next stage. Okay, so now I've just got some standard household sellotape, and I'm just going to try and remove the mica from the surface, not the crevices. So I'm just using very gentle pressure. I don't want to mess the shape up at all. Literally just burnish pressure. Okay, so I just keep going till I'm happy that I've removed all the excess I can. Now I'm just burnishing the top half, trying to keep that smoother. So now I've got some Pearl-Ex copper and mica, and I'm just applying that all over the surface, and you'll see how the noir is highlighted underneath. I just like that effect. Before I go on to the next stage where I use beads, I just want to say that when these are completed, I do cover them in matte varnish to keep the mica in place. So I'll do that just before I do the beads. I'll mention it now in case I forget to say it. So now I'm just going over it all and just burnishing the mica in as best as I can. And again, I'm going over that hammered look, and even though some of this won't have the black in the impression, it doesn't matter because I think it just looks more realistic. And then the last thing I'm going to do to them is I'm going to make a 2mm hole at the top, ready for where the ear inserts can go through. And then I shall put them in the oven at the manufacturer's recommended temperature, and I shall see you on the other side. Okay, so they're out of the oven, and I'm just tidying up the edges before I put a backing on, so I've just rolled out some more scrap clay on a number 5. If you're not confident, use liquid clay here. I just make sure I really press into the edges and any sort of rough bits so it holds the clay. But if you are going to do it with that liquid clay, you have to be very mindful that you're using a good bit of pressure. So I'm just taking off the first rough cut in to get the basic shape. Okay, now I'm just going to burnish it because I won't be texturing the back. Just tidying up the edges. Just make sure you get rid of any fingerprints or anything like that that may decide to make themselves known. And now I'm just getting the copper mica again and I'm just reapplying it to the back. Okay, and don't forget to do the sides as well. Makes all the difference. And then this is going to go back in the oven at the manufacturer's recommended temperature. And when it comes out and it's cooled down, that's when we'll apply matte varnish to it. Also remake the little hole. Okay, so now they're out. I've cut approximately 6.5 inches of 18 gauge copper wire here. And this is the one I've completed, and then I'll do this one with you. So I've made a little drill hole just above the hammer effect, as you can see, and that's to allow myself to start the wiring and to secure it. So I've also got some micro seed beads here. You can just use normal seed beads. I just chose these because I haven't had a reason to use them yet and I thought they'd go nice. I've also bent over the edge of the wire, so when I need to, I can add the seed beads and they will all go for runarounds. Okay, so I've drilled the hole in the middle and putting the wire through it and bringing it through probably about 1.5 inches. I'm just going to start rolling the end with my pliers. It's kind of hit and miss, I don't have any precise measurements. Try and make sure on the other end you keep the wire similar length to this, whatever length you decide. So I'm just rolling it with around those pliers and my fingers because I find it helps using both personally. This will secure the wire and stop it moving around at all, which is another benefit. Okay, so I've already added a guesswork of beads onto the wire ready, as I've no idea exactly how many I'll need because they're so small. Okay, so now I'm happy with that coil. I've just pushed it flat and I'm just bringing the wire around the side and I'll estimate how many beads I need. I don't want them going over the side, so I want them to be just slightly inverted each side. And remember to keep it all tight. Okay, so when I'm happy, I'll sort of set it where I want it to be. And then I'll bring the wire around again and repeat. Okay, so I'm quite happy because I know I can add a few seeds at the end if I don't have the exact amount. Seed beans, what am I saying? Seeds? Okay, so I need a few more here. Okay, so that's the third lot gone round now. So just keep checking the back, checking it's tidy. And then I'm going to create a second hole. I prefer to do it afterwards so I know it's the right thickness because again you're guesstimating a little bit, so it's easy enough to do as it's fine. So I'm just drilling a hole there for the wire to come through from the back to the front to create the last coil. Okay, so I'm just drawing it through. I'll just check the back's tidy. It's a little bit long, so I should cut a little piece off. Just curl it in like I did with the initial coil, but I'll flatten it the other way. Okay. So go, there's both pieces up to this point. Okay, so for the final bit, I've just cut off, I've got 20 gauge wire here, and I've just cut off 3 inches. I just want it a little bit thicker because it's securing the in. So I'm finding the halfway mark, and if you can't find the halfway mark, just roll the pliers and then they'll meet at the other end. Excuse me. Okay, so I'm just looping where I found the centre, and then I'm pushing the wire through from the back, trying to make sure the hoop part is about the right size that I need. Just take one piece off to the left, one piece off to the right. Push one out of the way while I work on the other one. So I've gone off camera a little bit there. Okay, so push that one out of the way, and I'm just wrapping this one around, and then I'll do exactly the same from the opposite way with that one. It just gives me an organic wire wrap, and then I'm just going to cut them down so I can fold them in and I'm going to push them into the gap where I've done the rolling, so there's no sharp bits anywhere. It's really important to have any edges hidden and not able to scratch or. Okay, so just give it a roll and push it into the tube I've created there. Wrapping it around here. Okay, so now I'm happy that's tidy. Remove all little bits of wire. End up treading on them. Just to be extra careful because he does come in the craft room. Okay, so now I've just got a jump ring and I'm just going to attach the ear insert. And there you go. It's just a pair of fun earrings. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Thank you for watching.